y'all, it's your girl Chelsea. Welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been here on a while. If y'all see, y'all been seeing me throw some like cooking videos out there, shorts every now and then. I just want to give y'all something. But I've been like really busy trying to get my ducks in a row. It's a lot of things going on behind scenes that I am going to be able to share with you guys very soon. But I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about my 10-year college journey. Yes, 10 years. When I look back, I can't believe that it was 10 years, but I graduated high school in 2016. And I just graduated with my master's degree in 2026. So I just wanted to come on here, chit chat with you guys a little bit. I am not going to make this video long at all. Back in 2016, like I just said, I graduated from high school. I already knew that I was gonna go to college. What for, I didn't really know. But 2016, graduated from high school. In August of 2016, I started college at Harold Washington Community College, downtown Chicago. I loved the school. I loved Harold Washington College. Very good resources, very good professors. And one day I remember sitting and I was talking to my advisor. And I said, you know, I hear people all the time complain about their college professors and give bad stories. I said, this is like when this conversation I'm talking about, this was like maybe like a month before graduation. And I said, I hear people complain about the professors all the time, but like, fortunately, gratefully, I never had the experiences that other people have, you know, discussed. And my advisor was like, because it's you. You put in the work. You put in the dedication. You manage your time. And that just had me thinking like, yeah, it was me. And I didn't have no complaints about my professors because I did what I was supposed to do. And if you do what you're supposed to do, they're not gonna, you know, fail you. They can't fail you. Some are very, very strict on grading and things like that, but they let you know that ahead of time. So they let you know what you're getting into before you get into it. But, yeah. But, so I started in college in 2016 of August. And it took me 4 years to get my associates. Within those 4 years, I never went to school part-time. I always went full-time, and I went during the summer. This was because I had a third party paying for my tuition, and in order for me to continue to get my tuition, books, and everything paid for, I had to be full-time all year round. So that's what it was. That's 10 years. That's how it was. So, yeah, it took me 4 years to get my associate's degree, but within that 4 years, I had 2 kids. Math was not my friend. So, was it statistics? I failed statistics. I had to retake it. I really don't know how I passed still, y'all. Like, to God be the glory. I tried and I did. I think I barely passed. But at first, also, my major was psychology. That's what I was majoring in. But, you know, sorry, y'all, if y'all hear that horn. That's the garbage truck. My major was psychology. And after I sat down and but you know, you have to get your gen eds and everything first anyway. So it gave me some more time to think about what I really wanted to do. And as I got more in debt I'm getting too far ahead. So my major was psychology. Even I'm trying to think, y'all. It's been 10 years. Okay, I graduated. Okay. So, yes. So, from 2016 to 2022, I was obtaining my associate's degree at Harold Washington Community College. In 2020, when I was done, I didn't graduate because that's when COVID started. So, like, I got my degree, but I didn't walk across the stage because COVID. So, but after January 2020 came May of 2020, I enrolled in Northeastern Illinois University to obtain my bachelor's. And at that time, that's when I sat down and I talked to my advisor and I said, I don't know if psychology is really what I want to do. It's just very, I just felt like I was going to be stuck. I like to do a lot of things, you guys. And for psychology, I didn't feel like that was giving me that opportunity. So my advisor was like, okay, well, you still have enough credits to minor in psychology. And they offered a non-traditional degree called interdisciplinary studies. And that's basically what it is. You can be a part of any interdisciplinary team. But I still took up, most courses that I took up had to do with social work and psychology, because that's what I knew, like, that I wanted to help those kind of those populations, but I just didn't know in that time exactly how. So I still took up a lot of psychology and social work courses because they're in hand and they help, you can help people with that. So from 2020 to 2022, I just sounded so proper. 2022. No, but for real. So from 2020 to 2022, I was obtaining my bachelor's degree at Northeastern Illinois University. Now, it didn't take me more than the time it was supposed to get my bachelor's. It actually took me to 2 years. Graduated in May of 2022. And I didn't go back to school. I didn't go right after to get my master's. Because in my head, I'm like, it took me 6 years, 2020, 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, it took me 6 years to get to that point. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Sorry, I looked up because my phone is ringing. So I said, God, I'm not going back. I got it. I said, he'll get it from here. I don't care. I'm done. And then after my graduation, I had landed me a decent job. So I'm like, man, look. Adios, amigos. But something kept pressing me within that year. I needed that year break. God knew I needed it before I did. But after that year was over, I said, I'm going back to school. I said, I'm not finna be 30, 40, talking about what I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda did. I'm going back to school. And that's exactly what I did, y'all. I went back to school in 2024, August of 2024, I went back to school. And another reason why I didn't go back is because the program that I was in, the reason why I didn't go back right after my bachelor's degree is because the program that I was in, it ended. So it wasn't going to pay any more of my tuition or books or anything. And I didn't want to take out no student loans, y'all. I said, I'm not going to lie. I was spoiled. I said, look, them student loans ain't for me. I'm not doing that. I done got through 6 years of college and everything was paid for. Everything. I'm not doing it. Nope. Find somebody else to do it. Nope. I'm not doing it. So that's how I felt, y'all. And a year later, I'm like, I'm going back to school. And I talked to God about it. I said, but I don't want to take out no student loans. And he said, you will owe no man nothing but the debt of love. That's what he told me. Now, at that time, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, like, I understand that, but I still got to take out this $30,000 student loan. But I did it. I did it. And God is handling that student loan, too. I did it. And I got back. So, in the process of me telling y'all this story, I'm realizing it's a testimony, too. So, just stay with me, y'all. So, I took out the loan, enrolled back in school. But this time it wasn't through Northeastern Illinois University. It was through Walden University. And how I heard about Walden University, it's an online school. It was this lady that I was working with at the job that I landed after I graduated with my bachelor's degree. She told me, she said, you should go back to school. She was telling me, she was like, I'm in Walden right now, and it's way cheaper, more affordable. But she was telling me, and I'm just throwing it off. But what if I hadn't worked at that job, and I didn't meet that lady? I probably would have never went back to school. So, and I call her all the time, and I tell her, like, God sent you in my life for a reason. So to fast forward, I got back in school. I was in Walden doing the online classes and everything. And remember I told y'all the program that had ended, right? I got an email, and it said, in so many words, you have another opportunity. There's a scholarship, a very competitive scholarship, and you have an opportunity to win based off of these criteria. You got to turn in a paper, do all of this stuff. And I'm like, wow. So y'all have to understand, like, I when you understand how God works, from that email, I knew that I was gonna get my tuition and books and things paid for it again. I knew I did, just based off that email. Even though they said you had to apply and you had to, you know, do an essay and all of that, I knew, because of who God is, that I had already got back in a program. It was just a matter of time of me being accepted. So right then, I was thanking him in advance, because I knew I was in that program. And lo and behold, they accepted me back into the program. And going forward, my tuition, books, and everything was paid for. But I had to leave Walden and go back to Northeastern Illinois University, because there were some things with the schools had to be in some specific states and things like that. So I was able to transfer back to my home school anyway. So that was a blessing in itself. That was a blessing in itself. I did a testimony video on my internship. So this is this is through the year when I was doing my internship and everything like that. And so that happened. I think that was still 2024 when that happened. When I had received the email saying that I was able to get the scholarship, but it had to be in a school in a specific states. I think that was still 2024, just before we got into 2025. So yeah, I know I was going back and forth, but I just say, and I remember being in an interview, and this is before I even graduated with my associates. The lady said, it's taking you almost 3 years to graduate with your associates. You need to work on time management. Now, this is when I was a security guard in school, just doing security while I was trying to finish school, my associate's degree. The lady told me I need to work on time management, y'all. And it kind of hurt my feelings, I'm not gonna lie. But she didn't have any kids. And I don't know what else she had going on in life, but she ain't had no kids. So right then and there, we can't even sit at the same table and talk about the same time management, baby, because you is not dealing with the same thing I'm dealing with. But yeah, I'm like, dang, it's taking me a long time to get my associates. But in the process, you have to understand it didn't have nothing to do with time management. Like, them math classes was hard, y'all, and I had to retake a couple of them. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So it was that. So it took me from 2016 to 2020, I got my associates. And from 2020 to 2022, I was able to obtain my bachelor's. And from 2024 to 2026, I was able to obtain my master's. And I said I wasn't going to go back for my master's. And I'm telling you, y'all, that 2 years went by so fast. So I could sit here and say, I don't know if I'm going to go back for a PhD. I could say I'm never going to go back for a PhD, but I do not know what God has planned, and his thoughts are bigger than our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. His plans are so much more better than our plans. Because when I look back, within that time frame, yeah, 10 years seemed like a long time, but now that I'm actually here, I'm like, that wasn't no time, man. That wasn't no time. You got people that's been in school in 10 years and still didn't graduate, and that's no shade to them, but it just makes me think, like, success is a journey, it's not a race. I saw that quote in 5th grade, and it always stuck with me, because we get so caught up in what the world says. By 18, we should graduate high school. By 2021, we should have our first college degree. By the time we get from 25 to 28, we should be married. And no, it's God's timing. God's timing. God said, within due time, in the perfect time, I will make it happen. So, again, I know I was back and forth and all over the place, but I just wanted to come on here and share my 10-year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 no, 10 years, y'all. I was in, well, really 9, because I took from 2022 to 2023 off. 9-year college journey, and I made it. And you can make it too. No matter how it looks, no matter what people are telling you, no matter how long people are telling you you're taking. And I'm not going to say take your time, because time waits for no man. But as long as you're putting your best foot forward, God will handle the rest. It may not seem like it in those moments, but those moments where it doesn't seem like it, that's God's opportunity to show you the impossible. So y'all, thank you for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Comment down below what other videos y'all want me to see, any questions that y'all have. Thank you to my new subscribers. I was at 12 subscribers, and then I looked up and I was at 20 subscribers. So thank you. So some people, they be like, oh, that's nothing. To me, it's everything. Y'all see me and I see y'all, and thank y'all. Keep subscribing, please. Like, share, comment. And y'all, it's some good things that's happening. God is doing some good things. And remember Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Okay? God loves you. And I do too.